Hello students, today we are going to discuss about the orifice, how to classify the orifice, what is the definition of orifice, application of the orifice, and how to determine flow through an orifice, and the hydraulic coefficient, that means coefficient of discharge, coefficient of velocity, and coefficient of contraction. So let's go to determine these values. All the first, what is the orifice? We know very well that orifice is a low cost device because in this we not have any kind of the moving part or the any other complex part. It is just a hole on the plate. Maybe the hole is rectangular, triangular, etc. Okay, so this is just a hole in the plate and we can place in the pipe or in the mouth of the tank, okay, to determine the flow rate. So this is the very cheapest device. Orifice, also we can say that orifice is a low cost device used for measuring the rate of flow of a fluid which flowing through a pipe and the tank. Okay, we can place it in the pipe or we can place at the mouth of the tank to determine the discharge or the flow through the tank or the pipe. It consists of a plate with circular, triangular, okay, which have the shape. This is the shape of the orifice. Maybe the hole is the circular, maybe hole is the triangular, maybe hole is the rectangular. Okay, or we can place in the pipe or we can mount on the face of the tank or at the bottom of tank. Now, classification of orifice. The orifices are classified on the basis of their size, shape, and the nature of the discharge and the shape of the upstreaming edge. So we can classify it in the following category. Like for the size, according to size we can classify it in the two category, the small orifice and the large orifice. The small orifice is say the small if the head of the water from the center of the orifice is greater than to 5 times of the depth of orifice meter. That means say the head of the water from the center of the orifice is the 5 times above the diameter of the orifice, and the large orifice, that means the head of the water H is less than the 5 times the depth of the orifice or the diameter of the orifice from the center of orifice. That means in the large size, the size of orifice is the very large compared to the head of water. Compared to the head of the water, the size of the orifice is very large. The whole size is the big, but in the small size, the size is the small. And the shape, we can have the circular, triangular, rectangular, and the square shape of the hole. So this is the classified according to this size shape of holes. And the nature of the discharge, when the orifice is placed on the outside of the tank or at the bottom of the tank, then we getting the free discharge. But if it is placed inside the tank and we have the two part of the tank, then that means is the totally is the submerged. The condition is, in this case, the orifice is the totally submerged in the liquid, and this case we getting a forced discharge. We need to the the high head on the upstream side and the low head in the downstream side, or we need the high pressure in the one side or the low pressure in another side. So these are the classified according to the nature of the discharge. And according to SAF we have this if we have the sharp edge or the knot, so they classified according to the edges. Okay, the sharp edge and the bell mounted. Okay, in the bell mounted we have the area of orifice. We decreasing the area of the orifice, we not have a good edges. Now, flow through an orifice. For this, the consider the orifice is placed at the face of the tank or at any location of the tank to provide the flow through the orifice. So then opening provided in the side of a tank for the purpose of the discharging the liquid content in the tank. So the liquid is passed through the holes we can place on the side of the tank. When the liquid surface in the tank is above the upper edge of the opening, that means to getting a free discharge to the orifice we need a high head in the tank. Okay, so the high head of the tank should be above the edge of the orifice. That means the tank should be full with the water. Now consider the H is the head of the liquid above the center of the orifice. So this is the consider that the H is the head of the orifice. So head of the orifice is H. Okay, this part is the head of orifice. From the center of the orifice, the water which fill in the tank is the H. Liquid exit from the orifice in the form of the jet. That means this part, the jet with the flowing fluid at the exit we getting in the form of the jet. Cross section of the liquid jet is the less than the diameter of the orifice. Obviously, the water is not occupy the entire area of the orifice at the exit time, so we getting a less cross section area compared to the cross section area of hole. After the section CC, the CC is the another section. The one section is inside the tank and another section is outside the tank. So in the outside of the tank at the section CC, also known as the section 22, and the section CC where the jets streamlines are the parallel to each other. They are the straight and the perpendicular to the plane of orifice. So that this part is the CC is known as vena contracta. So at the vena contracta, the streamlines are perpendicular to the orifice. That means the plane of the orifice, parallel to each other. That means all the streamlines are parallel to each other, and the straight, they are the straight. After then, they lowered. Now applying the Bernoulli's equation between the section 1 and the section 2, or also between the section 1 and the section CC. So the P1 by rho z plus V1 square by 2z plus Z1, this is the Bernoulli equation at the section 1,1. And the P2 by rho z plus V2 square by 2z plus Z2, this is the, another at the section 2. Now P1 upon rho z is say the head of the tank. The water is filled in that. That means the pressure head of the tank is determined by the H, or we can write by the H. So the P1 by rho z is equal to capital H. P2 by rho z, that means in the outside of the tank, the head of the water. So in this we getting only the atmospheric pressure as the head of the water. So this is the negligible, because in the both the upper surface of the tank and in the outer surface of the water, in the both we getting the atmospheric pressure. So in the both side is the negligible. So that this term is 0. P2 by rho z is 0. Now the V1 square by 2z is also negligible, because the velocity of the jet is very high compared to the velocity of the liquid which fill in the tank. The level decreasing in the tank is the very slowly, but at the time of the jet we getting a high velocity due to the head H. So the V1 is negligible compared to the V2, because the area of the tank is very high. Now the Z1 and Z2 is equal, because from the bottom the head is same. Now after putting all these value, you find out that this term the V1 square is 0, Z1 is equal to Z2, and the P2 upon rho z is also 0. So we getting this equation, and from the simply mathematical we getting the velocity, theoretical velocity V2 is equal to under root 2gh. This is known as a theoretical velocity. Now flow through and the orifice. Now the another case. Okay, this is the actually we can say the practical case. Okay, in this we collect all the amount of the flowing liquid in the measuring tank to determine the discharge or the etc. Now in the real case, or in the practical approach, assume that a particle of the fluid flowing in the x direction and after then is lowered after the few distance after the exit from the orifice, after the vena contracta, it is the velocity decreases and the particle is lowered or flowing on the downward direction. So the consider or the let the x is equal to horizontal distance traveled by a fluid particle in time t. Okay, this is the travel distance by the particle in the time t in the x direction, and y is vertical distance traveled by a fluid particle in the time t. So this is traveled by this in the downward direction, because after the vena contracta the jet is lowered. Jet of the liquid is lowered because the velocity decreases. So the particle is first travel the distance in the x direction, after then the travel in the y. So the y distance travel in the time t is the y. Now the v, if the actual velocity of the particle at the section CC, then we can determine using the equation of the distance. Distance is velocity into time. So the x is the horizontal distance which traveled by the particle is x is equal to v into t, where the v is the velocity and t is the time. Now the vertical distance traveled by the fluid we can determine using the S is equal to ut plus half of gt square. Using this equation we can calculate the travel distance of the particle in the y direction, because at this time the initial velocity is assumed at the 0, and when the particle is start to flow in the downward direction, then the velocity is half of gt square. So the y is equal to half of gt square travel distance in the vertical direction. Now from the first equation x is equal to vt, we can get the value of the time t is x by v, and put the x by v in the second equation, the y is equal to half of gt square, and we getting that the y is equal to half of g x square upon v square. Now from this equation, using this now the simplify to this equation, we can get the v is equal to under root gx square by the 2y. This is the value of actual velocity. Now we know very well the recently or the earliest we discussed about the v theoretical. So the v theoretical is under root 2gs. So now v is equal to v actual is equal to under root gx square upon 2y, and the v theoretical is under root 2gh. Now using these two equations, we can calculate the coefficient of the velocity. The coefficient of velocity is the ratio of actual velocity to theoretical velocity of fluid particles. So the Cv is equal to v actual upon v theoretical. Put the value of v actual and the v theoretical in equation, and after the simplify to equation, we getting that the Cv is equal to x upon under root 4yh. Okay, so this is the value of the coefficient of velocity. Now how to determine the coefficient of discharge? So using this experimental setup, we can collect water within the 10, 20 or the 30 second in the measuring tank, and using this how much volume we get in the particular time, or using this relation we can calculate the discharge. Okay, volume per second. So the volume per second we can collect in the tank. Suppose for the 10 second we getting the 1000 centimeter cube. So this is the discharge, the volume per second. So how to get the area, the Q actual we can determine using the area of measuring tank into height of the tank. Height of the tank, that means that water which filled during the time t. This is the height. Okay, suppose we're going to fill the tank up to a top of the water, then what is the time taken to get this height? Okay, so we can calculate this. So the Q actually is equal to area of the measuring tank into height of the tank divided by time t taken to get the height of liquid, or the top to fill the tank, how much the time is taken to fill the tank. So using this relation, after putting the values in this, we can get the value of Q actual. Now we know very well that the Q theoretical is equal to V theoretical is under root 2gs, and then now the Q theoretical we can calculate using the continuity equation. Q is equal to A1 V1. So the Q theoretical is area of the orifice into velocity through velocity of orifice. So the velocity of the orifice is under root 2gh, and the area of the orifice is A1. So using this relation we can calculate the Q theoretical, A1 into under root 2gh. Now the CD is the coefficient of the discharge. It is the ratio of actual discharge to theoretical discharge. So put the value of the actual discharge which getting from this relation, and the Q theoretical which we can calculate using this relation. So we easily calculated the coefficient of discharge. Now the coefficient of contraction, that means the rate of contraction, a friction value of the contraction in which the jet is depends. The contraction of the jet comes due to these frictional values. So how to get these friction values? This friction value is depend on the coefficient of discharge and the coefficient of the velocity both. So the coefficient of contraction is the ratio of coefficient of discharge to coefficient of velocity. So Cc is equal to Cd by Cv. Using this relation we can calculate the coefficient of contraction. So this is the sufficient for today. Thank you very much to listen carefully. Have a nice day.